podcast. This part of Eddie's podcast, we talk about transition with purpose. I had a good guest today, special guest, my guy Jamie Staten. Jamie was a previous guest on the Eddie's podcast, and he vowed to his word and said, "Hey man, we're gonna keep in touch, and I'll come back on and to do some catch up and talk about some things that's going on, what's new, and things of that nature." Jamie, how you been?
I've been doing well. How about yourself?
Hey man, life is good, man. This still transitioning, still transitioning. Even though
Yes.
it's been almost close to 6 years, but it's still a process.
Been almost 10 years for me.
10 years, wow, wow, wow. And we gonna dive into that. But other than that, you've been doing pretty well.
For the most part, you know,
Yeah.
my father passed away last year,
Hmm.
right before Thanksgiving, and he was a veteran as well,
Okay.
and still dealing with that with my mom, trying to get her situated,
Hmm.
uh, and yeah, I know I haven't really. He passed away in the VA, and I was there um, in his last moments.
Yeah.
And it has affected me quite a
Hmm.
bit. Um, to be honest with you, I haven't been back. I've been back to the VA maybe twice since
Yeah.
then. I'm finding a hard time to, to go back inside, and I've been putting off appointments and or rescheduling. Um, but at some point, I'm going to have to face it.
Hmm. Hmm. Where is that? And I want to say, we're gonna. I'm gonna talk with you about this. But Daniel
Hmm.
also works for the Virginia Department of Virginia. No, Virginia Department of Veterans
Services.
Services. Thank you, sir.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
and that's how him and I communicated. But yeah, Jamie. So sorry to hear that about your dad, man. And what's the thing about going back to the VA? Is it like just the memories of your dad?
Well, he died there, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I didn't really think it was going to bother me, but it has, and um, I knew I have to go back.
Mm-hmm.
I've been putting off some stuff, and I got to take care of myself. But um, it was, it didn't expect it. You know,
Yeah.
he went in the emergency room, like, and they found a tumor, and then 2 weeks later they did surgery. The surgery went fine. But two days later, he passed. We got the call,
Yeah.
told us to come, hurry up and come in, because they didn't know how long, um, he had left.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom, myself, my sister, we all um, got there. He was going to get released that day.
Oh, he
Um,
was supposed to get released. Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So, um, but that's some. So at the aftermath is what.
Mhm.
Maybe at the end I can talk about that.
Okay.
There's
Okay.
some
Yeah.
information I really want family members, spouses particularly, to understand. Um, if your spouse is a veteran and they pass away, what are some of the things that to expect or
Yeah.
to make
No,
sure
Jamie,
you.
let's talk about it now. Like we
Mhm.
always gonna talk. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk about it now because it's important um to know these things because it's going to happen to us. It's
yeah.
going to happen. Yes. But go ahead, please share the information.
Well, when one spouse passes in the household, I mean, it's a very it's impactful
Mm-hmm.
for the other spouse, of course, and he was the breadwinner, if you will.
Okay.
And so my mom, I mean, he made most of the income. He was a 100% disabled veteran,
Mm.
and he retired, and he was also getting Social Security. But it's the disability part that I think a lot of people don't really understand.
Right.
So there is a benefit for the surviving spouse. However, there are some requirements. So the veteran have to have passed away from one of his rated disabilities.
Mm-hmm.
Well, or be 100% consecutively for 10 years,
Okay.
and he was neither that. My mom and I had to explain that to my mom. However, my agency, we have a benefits department. They were very helpful. We did a process her claim,
Hmm.
and it gave her
But
all
hold
the
on,
great
go back. Say
information.
that you said without it has to have what type of criteria it must need to meet.
Now, whatever I'm saying, I
Right,
would
right.
urge
It's
people to
just your
please
experience. It's just your experience.
go research yourself.
Yeah.
But it's so be you have to first be married more than 1 year, which they were. Also, if you pass away from it, your rated disability,
Yeah.
which he didn't pass away from a rated disability, or if you were 100% for 10 years, then it didn't matter,
Mm,
what he passed
mm,
away from. My mom would have got that benefit, and she didn't. The VA, we submitted the request, and she was denied, and I anticipated that, but
yeah.
again, our benefits department at the Virginia Department of Veteran Services, they were very helpful and very
Hmm.
informative, and walked us through the process. But my mom was saying that, my dad told her all the, for years that, when something happened to him and they go to the VA and she'll get this.
Yeah.
Um, but apparently he didn't, give her the right information, you know.
Mm, mm.
Um,
And that's why they denied her at that time.
yes. So he was only 100% for like 5 years. I
Oh.
remember when he got his 100%. Um, that's right when I retired.
Hmm.
But well, let me take that back. He was no, he was 100% for like 8 years, 8 years,
Hmm.
8 years. So he needed couple more years, and
Oh
then she
wow.
would have got the benefit.
She would have got that benefit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, but again, the VA was they were very, it was, understanding,
Hmm.
um, help us through the process. But it's when a parent dies, it makes you think about your own mortality.
Okay.
You start thinking about your place in the world, and what you accomplished and what you want to accomplish, and do you feel like I've done enough? Um, so I'm still wrestling through that. I've talked to other veterans and or other people in general who lost a parent, and it does take a while. I mean, you may not ever get over it. It's just something that we have to just manage, and um, and move on. And I always, with my job and the people I work with and what we do for veterans is, we want to stay positive, and it's all about moving forward.
Right.
We have to move forward at some point. Um, and I feel like I'm doing it. My mom, to her credit, she's doing a lot better than she was a year ago, and well, about 10 months ago.
Right.
But we got most of his stuff together. All of his affairs and finances, and she got his Social Security, so she's okay.
She's
You know,
okay. Right. But just
and
knowing that extra benefit is out there, it would be helpful.
yes.
Yes.
So I would say to any veteran that is 100% just getting 100% disability from the VA, to please, do the research to see what the criteria is, the stipulations, if you will.
Hmm.
Uh, because like you said, it's going to happen,
It's going to
and we
happen.
just want to make sure that we're ready. You know,
Right. Right.
um, yeah.
Right. So in that, like, I know that's that piece of it, but how do you look at, like, do you ever think about like just sitting down and talking with someone about, how you feeling, and again, you're right, we have to get over it,
Mhm.
but everybody mourn, deal with death differently. Um, but I just think about like this. You say, "Oh, it's easy to talk to somebody," but some people say, "Well, I can't. I don't want to talk to no one." Um,
Mm.
what do you feel like what that will help in this type of situation that you're
Definitely.
either doing or not doing, or you thinking about doing?
Everybody's different, but I would say yes, definitely talking to someone.
Hmm.
I do. I go to counseling. I've been in counseling for close to 15 years now.
Okay.
This is for mainly for for my PTSD
Yeah.
and anxiety. But of course, when I was talking to my therapist about this, and she's been helping me through this. Um, and definitely, you don't want to go through it alone. You
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
we may feel like we're alone, but we always have someone. And we
Yeah.
don't. If we don't have someone, we can find. You come to us, come to our agency. You know, we'll help you find someone.
Right. Right.
And I was before about 15 years ago before I got into got therapy. I was something that I really wasn't. You know. Uh, I didn't want to go to therapy. I didn't feel like it would help. You know,
Right. Is
but
that just like
I
the
was
ego
wrong.
thing, or something that you grew up with, or hey, you in the army, like
I think it's well. I think it's a combination of all you just said.
right.
My father, when growing up, is you don't want to show your emotions. You need to just suck it up. In the military, you know how that is. You
Hmm.
suck it up and drive on, mission first.
Right.
Um, and and yeah, maybe part of it was ego or pride, you know. But I'm glad I did get help,
Okay.
again, I'm still,
What
with
got you to that
any.
breaking point that you say, well, you know what, today is the day I'm going to go. 'Cause I'm sure you've been talked to and probably offered it many a times. But what was it
Mhm.
that on that particular day that said, today's the day? Let me see what it's like. It won't hurt.
Well, my marriage was failing,
Hmm.
and I knew, my behavior or what I was dealing with internally was a major factor, you know. And my wife had now, full disclosure, we still got divorced in the end,
Hmm.
but um, uh, it helped. At least it helped me. And I tried it. We went to couples therapy too. So I
Yeah.
got individual therapy, went to couples therapy, but we had a big argument one day. It was nothing physical. It was just so emotional,
Right.
you know. And I called one of my battle buddies, and I was crying. I was emotional. He said, he's been telling me you need to see someone.
Mm.
You know, we know you're tough and all this, and everybody's tough, but we all have our breaking points. We all
Yeah.
need something. We need somebody. We all need a helping hand.
Yes.
You know. Um, so I went to sick call the very next day, and then saw got a referral to see a therapist and then a psychiatrist, and it put me on the right path for sure.
Okay.
But unfortunately, you know, um, my marriage uh, um, didn't survive it, and
Right.
and and it's unfortunate, but a lot of military couples, you know, you have to go through that. They go through divorce. A lot of military couples make it. They last.
Yeah.
But it because it takes a toll. You're away from your family. Long stretches at a time. You know, and you try to come back and you try to reintegrate yourself, and things change. You grow apart. Kids, they've been so used to you not being around, and
Mm. Mm.
what I wish going what I wish I would have done is probably all of us should have had some type of therapy to get some family therapy coming back from deployments.
Mm,
I believe that that would have helped tremendously.
yeah,
But
yeah. So when you went to therapy, now I'm gonna touch on that here in a second. But when
Mhm.
you went to therapy the first time, what was your pay grade at that time?
Oh, sorry, first class.
Oh, sorry, the first class. Okay,
Mhm.
okay. Um, and that's a
E7.
E7. Oh, that's big.
Hmm.
I mean, that's big of you to, like to do that at that pay grade. But thinking about it, going back, would have been what pay grade do you think it would have been very helpful to start receiving that type of like therapy?
Probably my first deployment,
Mm-hmm.
um, which was 2006. And I was just a sergeant E5,
Yeah.
and I believe coming back from that, I should have started therapy then. But again, it really wasn't promoted. We go through, we come back from deployment, and yes, you get, you go through, this. You got to go to these stations to transition back,
Transition back. Yeah. Yeah.
into your unit, and it was offered, but so I'm not saying it wasn't offered,
Right.
but it just wasn't something that was, um, how should I say this? Um, it should have been more of, uh, I'm not saying mandatory, but it should have promoted it more.
Right.
In the military has gotten way better. When I know
Mm-hmm.
when I retired, a lot of things change, and um, you know, well-being and our, in dealing with trauma. Um, that is something they started to address right before I retired. So, and I feel like the military is, the Army. I was in the Army, of course,
Mm-hmm.
has gotten a lot better with helping our soldiers, deal with, their internal struggles. Whether
Yeah.
it's PTSD or anxiety or depression.
Right.
Um, mhm.
Right. Because you go back and think about those things, like the things that you were doing at the time, especially you being downrange
Yeah.
on many of the deployments, I'm sure. And then you coming back home, as a young soldier, and you like, y'all just don't understand. Like I'm dealing with that over there. Then I come back home, I'm trying to integrate back here, and it's
Hmm.
tough. It's tough. And the only thing you really thinking about at that time is like, I got to get back out there to the job. I got to get back to the job. I got to get back to the job. Because it seemed like being at work was like the safe place. For some odd reason, it just felt like being. You, it's okay not being deployed. Then sometimes people are looking to be deployed. Like I just got to go to get away, and those are those tough times that I'm sure a lot of us has faced, and a lot of us have dealt with the separation from your spouse, your
Hmm.
kids, your parents. Again, I always say what we do isn't normal. Even
Hmm.
like some sailors right now, they out there on the ship that's out there 200 something days. The older generation of the Navy will say, "Oh yeah, they getting it, they getting it, they getting it," but at the same time, this is a new time and a new place. You know, the younger generation that's coming up, they don't want to be out on a ship for over 200 something days. It's a beautiful thing to put your feet on land. And I know y'all look at it different as being in the army, but when you
Hmm.
out there on a ship, just to touch on land, it just feels different. I don't care where you at in the world, but when you put your feet back on land, it just feels better. But those sailors and Marines that's out there, service members, when they come back, that's when the problem's going to really escalate because they've been gone for so long, and now they trying to really get back into the fold and being with the family. But you've been deployed over 250 something odd days. You know, on a ship, mentally, it's challenging. That's challenging mentally. So
Oh yeah.
I give a lot of respect for them to do that. That's challenging, and you
Hmm.
not to even hit a port. That's challenging. So enough respect and enough love, and just please come home safe and do your best in reconnecting. But it's going to be a challenge, and I hope the biggest thing that the military do is to make sure they plan that well in advance as soon as they get back, even with the family members, that's like you spoke about earlier. That's what they really need to make sure, like they getting that counseling to get, and it should be mandatory. It should,
Mm-hmm.
this right here should be mandatory because they're going to deal with, it's going to affect a lot of people if it hasn't already affected them by now. So that's the tough part. And then again, you retire or whatever, you get disability and all that, but it doesn't fix what happened
Right.
during that time that you were gone. So, but yeah, so I just wanted to say, man, like it's powerful that you was, that you stood up and said, hey, I'm gonna get this therapy, as an E7, so that's huge because I know where your mindset is at. It's like, hey, I don't need that. Like I'm doing my job, and that's all you thinking about. So again, man, it's just a blessing that you was able to get it and still working at it because I know it's a process. It's a process because you get other things added on to that, which you've been dealing with. So yeah, what type of advice would you give that young service member that's an E5, that's dealing with family, um, and things at work? Like, what type of advice would you offer them?
Don't hold it in. Don't suffer in silence. You know, with our, with what I do and our agency does, especially with peer support, we have individuals that are there to help our veterans that are struggling internally. They don't know where to turn to. They don't know who to talk to. They feel, a lot of veterans feel like, nobody can relate to what I'm going through.
Right.
But the peer support program, we have phenomenal, veteran peer specialists. And then we're here to listen, and we're here to help you guide, to guide our veterans. And I meet veterans, and I'm helping them, and I see myself,
Yeah.
you know, in them. They suffer in silence. You know, they feel like they don't have anyone. In a lot of situations, especially with family, there are, broken relationships.
Yeah.
Um, they probably feel like they can't go to their mom or dad or sister or cousin or uncle. Maybe because of some type of negative behavior and or shame,
Right. Right.
or guilt.
Yes.
But I wish I would have tell myself I would have told myself,
Yeah.
you know, don't suffer in silence.
Mm.
You know,
That's good
um,
information.
we have, the military community, is tight. You know, all you have to do is ask for help. But
It's
a
there.
lot of times, yeah, it's there. It's there.
There.
And but a lot of times, like you said earlier, pride sometimes gets in the way. You know,
Mm-hmm.
um, so I'm glad of the work I do now. I'm so proud of it. And I'm so proud of the work that our agency does. Helping veterans, helping their families. Getting through tough times. You
Yeah. Yeah.
especially with transition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And like, what is like one of the things that y'all see the most that's affect a lot of veterans during transition?
A number of things, but of course, financial. You know, um, you're not making the same amount of money, or uh, didn't really prepare properly, whether you're ETSing or retiring.
Yeah.
Um, the transition assistance program. I don't know if the Navy has that, but the Army
Yeah, we
has.
do.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I was, going through that, and I see a lot of my, you know, uh, colleagues, if you will. A lot of times they just come to these little briefings. They want to they'll get their papers signed off on, and they just want to get out. They just
Yeah.
want to just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
But there was some great information. I didn't know anything about writing a resume or I mean I went to school, but it's just different. Writing a resume, going through a job interview in the civilian world is much different. And I'm glad I took advantage. You know,
Yeah.
and as soon as I got out, as soon as I retired, I got a job, immediately, and but only because I took the time to go through all those processing courses, classes, um, and prepared myself. I mean, not everybody retires from the military, and our process, we start retirement process like a year out.
Right.
You know, um, and you definitely want to start. You don't want to do it last minute. You don't want to do things at last minute because it's life changing, especially if you're a retiree.
Right.
Um, but the financial part uh, uh, is a lot of service members are not ready for it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
And I guess those are the things that needs to be like worked on, the transition part, because
Hmm.
a year is not enough. 2 years, it's like you really have to help yourself with your identity. That's the main thing, one of the main things. And then the second thing is probably just understanding benefits, and you could say finances. Um, because like a lot of, most of us when we retire, you feel like, oh, I got to go to work right away. Like I have to do it right away. Like, and you really
And I
not,
would.
and it's different.
Mhm.
Everybody's situation is different, but it's like you really need to take your time and just identify yourself. Like,
Yeah.
hey, go ahead.
I probably should have. That was me.
Yeah,
So
same, same.
I took my uniform off on a Wednesday, and I went to my new job the next Wednesday. I
Mm,
didn't take a break. I know a lot of my battle buddies, when they retire. They take that 1 year break. If you will.
yeah,
Um, I felt like if I didn't keep working, if I didn't stay, in that mode, then I
yeah,
probably wouldn't go back to work. 'Cause I still wanted to work. I still wanted to do something. I wanted to challenge myself, and
right.
I went into banking of all things.
Yeah,
Uh,
right, 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 right,
uh,
right.
so
Well,
I
but you
helped.
but you may have needed that from where you was at, doing what you was doing in the army. You may needed something different, more relaxing to a degree,
Yeah.
but you didn't need nothing intense. Because most people look for intense type jobs once they retire. If they've been doing an intense job in the military, they kind of want something same, similar.
Hmm.
So it's tough. Like knowing what you know now, looking back, what would you have done differently if you'd have had like 2 years to transition? What would you have done differently?
Um. Actually, I think I did everything. So I got pulled. Right. So somebody pulled me aside. You know,
Hmm.
I was actually in Kuwait, and and there's a lot of civilians, a lot of former military work there. And one guy pulled me aside and he said, what he asked me what I'm going to do when I get out, when I retire. You know, and unfortunately, I didn't have an answer.
Mm.
You know, I felt like, well, I have a retirement. I can, live off that. You can't live off that. I mean, some can if you prepare yourself. You got nice savings. You invest.
Right.
I
Right.
can tell you, if maybe told myself 10 years ago, I probably should have invested wisely. You know,
That's good information.
but
Yeah.
he told me he set me down, um, and listen, you need to do this, and this. You need to make sure that you have your records straight, especially your medical records.
Mm.
You know, make sure everything is in there. It was something, again, I have bad. I was a big procrastinator, especially with my health. So I put
Right.
stuff off.
Right.
If I have an ache or a pain, or I don't get it checked out, or I get it checked out once and I don't follow up with it. And he said, "Listen, you need to go and make sure you got everything documented in your medical records." And because I didn't know anything, about the VA and um,
Right.
not that much. So, um, and he said, you know, when you get ready to transition, you go through all these out processing classes. Make sure you don't skip them. You know, um, I tell you, I had my transition was actually I'm not saying it was flawless, but um, I said I started a year out. I actually started maybe 18 months out. You
Okay.
know,
Okay.
And I recommend, yeah, like you said, 24 to 18 to 24 months out, if you know you're
Yeah.
going to retire, to start preparing yourself, preparing your family, you know.
Mm.
Um,
Now,
but
by having that guy talk with you, you felt like he was like a mentor to you and helping you with that transition.
oh yes, definitely,
Okay. Okay.
definitely.
And that's why I kind of made it smooth, and you were kind of ahead of everything as it was going, as you was doing it.
Hmm.
Right. And how was your family? How did they deal with it?
Um,
Cause now you back
well,
home. You ain't out
yeah,
deploying. None of that. You at home now.
well, they were happy that I was at home. Um, and again, I was, my marriage at the time was a little bit fractured, but
Mm-hmm.
when I retired, things felt like it was getting better, but there was still some, you know, in, there was still some strife, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
because we kind of grew apart, you know.
Mm.
I went from one deployment to another. I mean, I remember went to Afghanistan. I was back for like 9 months,
Yeah.
and then went to Kuwait. You know, um,
Wow.
and so I was away from her, my family, for like 2 years almost. It felt like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the first deployment I had, um, that was 18 months. I remember it was supposed to be a 1 year deployment, and I think I told this story last time, but
Yeah.
we got extended. You know, that was, yeah, that was a bad morning. We woke up. We had advanced parties already. Heading back to the states.
Mm-hmm.
Back to. They had to turn around. You know,
And come back.
and we had to tell our families that hey, we're going to be here. Well, at the time, an undetermined amount of time, and it takes a toll. I was in field artillery for a while too, and we stayed in the field. You know,
Mm.
good lord. And when you're not around, you know, you can try your best to, I used to, you write, you want to stay in connection the best way you can. But a lot of times that physical presence is vital. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
some couples they weather through it. You know, and but some don't.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, my ex, we're on good terms.
Oh, that's good.
Um, it's just that, and I'm not going to blame the military,
Right. Because you signed
fully.
up. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
You signed up for it. Although it is what it is, what you signed up for.
yeah.
Yeah. How about like when you downrange and it's like you trying to focus on a job at hand because when you out there it's so important what you're doing.
Hmm.
But how do you not think about home and what's going on back at home and stay focused? Like how were you able to manage that? 'Cause I know that wasn't it couldn't have been easy.
It wasn't easy for me, and for other people I talk to. We kind of like compartmentalize. We, you know, kind of like black out. You know, back home. You know,
Mm,
stay busy, keep working, um, and just become workaholic. Focus on your mission, and that's what I did. Maybe I focused a little bit too much. I tried to stay in. You call, you write letters,
yeah.
um, but I kind of like, and it's that's probably my fault too. And not just it affected my immediate family, but also, my mom and dad, my
For
sister,
everyone. Yeah. Yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
and because I was just so laser focused in what I was doing.
Mm,
That's what I felt like I couldn't dwell on being away from loved ones, and it's hard. You know, it's hard when you go back. I was on a mountaintop in Afghanistan. For weeks. Me and a crew of I think it was four of us, and we was on a lookout point. And I remember just sitting there 2 o'clock in the morning. freezing too. This is the middle of this is summer. This is July, and it was like 140 in during the day, and then at night
Yeah.
it got down to 60. Now, I say
Wow.
140. I mean 140 because
I
we
believe
had
you.
like
Yeah.
yeah, we had a thermometer. We had a mercury thermometer. It popped. They had a laser thermometer. It was 140 at night. The temperature dropped down to 60, 70, and it was freezing. And you know, um, you think about a lot of things. You think
Mm.
about your choices that you made. You think about the choices you wish you made. You know, um, but ah, it's a long time to be away. Being deployed,
Yeah.
and like you, the Navy. My hats off to you and all the Navy service members. I mean, it's tough you being out there on the ship for long
Yeah.
stretches.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Um,
appreciate that. But yeah, like I say it's the same for you all.
mm,
It's all of us that that deal with it. Some deal with it better than others.
mm,
Um, but it's challenging because even like when it's all said and done, and when you're retired, you look
mm,
back on it and you think about it. You laugh at the fun moments, but then
mm,
there's some moments where you like, wow, I wish I can just get that moment back, to try to fix it. But we know we can't go back in time and fix anything. So the best what we can do is
mm,
move forward and try to make peace with it and just better it that way. 'Cause we can't change what we've done in the past.
mm,
We always, we're gone dealing with that stuff out there when we out there on
mm,
station or downrange. But you thinking about family, um, but you trying to like balance it, and it's tough. So when you
mm.
get back home, now you back in, and people are like, well, he's kind of acting funny. He's kind of they saying things you don't even know.
Yeah.
So yeah, because they like, yeah, yeah, and you thinking everything is normal,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not. Things have changed. People change. They growing up, and everyone changed, even yourself. So I always say I'm proud of us of what we do because it's not easy at all being out there. It's not easy at all. So yeah, I always just want to like give respect to the people that's still doing it out there.
Yes,
Um, so
definitely.
yeah,
And
yeah, yeah. So
And
go ahead, go ahead,
also,
go ahead, go ahead.
I also want to say too, to go back to what got me through those deployments were my battles. You the people that you work with. You
Mm,
know,
mm-hmm.
uh, we hold each other up. We
Yeah,
held each other up,
yeah.
um, and some of them I still stay in contact to this very day.
Oh
You
yes,
know,
yes, yes.
um, and we had some yeah, we had some funny times, some
Yeah,
good moments downrange, some bad moments, of course. Some didn't come back, and but we just held each other up, held each other strong.
that's good.
You know.
That's good. Yeah, and that's why I do this because it helps me in my transitioning.
Mm,
Because it's like I can connect with any service member, honestly, not just a Navy, service member, but any service member because we have a lot in common. You know,
mm,
um, we could talk about even though we might be in different deployment sites, but we can understand what each other is saying, and it's like I know that feeling. I know where you at. I've been there before, so I can respect how you feeling right now today. So yeah. But no, man, I greatly appreciate this. Yeah, I do. I do.
oh,
So
thank
that
you.
okay, go ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
No, just like you, with the what I do now, it's like a dream. It's a dream job for me.
Hmm.
And every time I go out and talk to I do presentations, I say that this is a dream job. I get to help. I stay connected to the military community by trying to uplift them, trying to uplift someone that feels
Hmm.
like they're overwhelmed with life or feel like they're stuck.
Yeah,
Um, and we got a great team and to
that's
help
good.
veterans and their family members. Whether it's financial, whether it's they're looking for a job, they want to go back to school. A lot of times they just don't feel like they have the confidence. You know,
Mm.
And that's what I love about peer support, because that's what we do. We help, we mentor and coach veterans, through whatever they're going through. You know,
Right. Right.
um,
And I
it's
hope
like,
people really take heed because going back to what we spoke about earlier,
uh
coming off the deployments, the people will come out like from Fleet and Family Service Center for us, and they would talk with us about reintegrating back at home. They done it. They done their job.
yeah,
We just didn't take it as serious as we should have.
hmm
They would fly out to the ships and come on the ships and talk with
hmm
every single person on that ship, but we just didn't take it as serious as we should have. So even
right,
now, you got veterans that's in need of a lot of things. And as much as we talk about these things and put the information out, they just don't take the opportunity. They don't know Virginia Department of Veteran Services is available to you to help and assist you with anything you need in the state of Virginia.
yep.
Anything veteran related. Even dealing with like VA benefits. I'm sure y'all can be able to, give insight on what these benefits are and help people out with them and so forth. But people just don't take advantage of the opportunities.
We have a whole division dedicated to help filing claims, the
Mm,
VA claims for veterans. So we have a benefits division, service line that does that, and they are phenomenal. I mean, and it's free. We don't charge anything.
right,
You know,
right.
we have a service line to help veterans and family members with jobs, with employment, to go back to school or
Okay.
continuing your education. And then our service line, Virginia Veteran and Family Support, you know, financial struggles. Somebody needs behavioral health counseling, and they may not have insurance, or they may not go to the VA, or
Right.
they're not service connected. We can help them, get some counseling.
Oh, that's good information there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we so a little plug here. So we can help get, you need counseling if you are behind on your utility bill. We can help with that as well. We can help with rent. Um, we've gotten veterans, prevented veterans from being evicted. We've helped veterans get into a rental property.
Okay.
We pay, and our funds are totally for, donations. But we have paid like first month's rent, security deposit. So yes, when you say anything, we can't do it. We're gonna try to find somebody who can.
Can't do
You
it.
know.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. That's good information. So far as you like for you now, what is it that you like to do to have fun?
Oh, um, well, so when I retired, I needed to find something. Again, I wanted to challenge myself. I wanted to do something that I thought I could never do. So I got into photography.
Okay.
I do a lot of landscape. I do black and whites now. I do food photography. Um, that's really helped me. Now I tell you, it's an expensive hobby. I went all out with with
Yeah.
the cameras, with the lenses, you
Yeah.
name it.
Yeah.
Um, and it's really that's helped me. Not only that, you're out there, you're hiking on the trail, you're experiencing, or you're taking in, nature and the beauty of this world. There's a lot of beauty in this world. you
Okay.
know yes, there are a lot of messed up things. There's always going to be turmoil, you
Yeah.
know but there's a lot of beauty here on this
That's good.
planet. We just have to take you know take a time out, and and recognize it. you know I promote, and that's my self-care, is getting my camera bag right here, and going out and taking pictures of waterfalls.
Okay.
um,
Okay.
I love it. you know so that's what I do for fun. I started cooking too. I mean, when I was in the military, I just pull out, I get a box, I pull it out, and boil some water. But I actually, I got a lot of cookbooks, and I do a lot. I look on the internet for recipes. I try to come up with my own things, and so I love cooking. I love baking. You
Okay.
know,
What's your favorite thing
that's
to cook and your favorite thing to bake?
my favorite thing to bake is called a Russian honey cake. It's like an 8 layer cake.
Mm.
And the frosting is mixed with honey and whipped cream.
Mm.
Now it's quite time consuming, but again it's
Eight
therapeutic.
layers, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, my favorite thing to well this week I've been cooking a lot of Thai. I love Thai food.
Mm.
Okay, that's my favorite by far. So I was like, what did I cook? I've been eating Thai all week.
Mm.
I made my own spring rolls.
Oh wow.
Fried up some rice.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Where did you get that from? The Thai. Like why is that? 'Cause I know we all eat, we've been deployed and been in certain places and we like, oh, I enjoy this over this. Why that?
Well, I was in Germany. Okay,
Mm.
and my boss at the time, we was out doing training, well not training, but it was like we was at a class,
Mm.
and he wanted us to go out to dinner. So he took his wife is Thai, and he said, I'm gonna take you to a Thai restaurant. You want to try it out. I was kind of skeptical. Now I love Chinese food, but I just get the same thing, the rice, bread. And,
You're right.
I don't venture too far off. I don't experiment too much. But I don't know what I ordered that day. I know it had some cashews and some bamboo shoots in it. It was chicken.
Mm.
But I love the flavor. I was sold. Germany. This is in Würzburg, Germany. They had this Thai restaurant called I don't. It's probably not even business anymore. They call it Rainbow. I love going to that place. I went there almost every week, probably 2 or 3 times a week.
Mm.
Eating, it's beautiful inside with the architecture, and the people were very nice.
Okay.
The food is quite spicy. I love spicy food. So so lately, so what gets me to cook something or to try something to try cook something new is when I go out and I order something, right?
Okay.
And I order something, and it looks good on the picture in the restaurant, or on the menu, but
Right,
when you
right.
get it, it's not the same, you know. So that triggers me to make it myself, you know. That what happened with the I went to a Thai restaurant a few weeks ago, and I didn't like the spring rolls. So
Mm.
you know what? I'm gonna try to make it myself, you know. And it came out great, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but well, also the most favorite thing I like to cook is beef brisket. So I do a lot.
Okay.
I love smoking meat. Yeah. Again, I believe cooking, smoking meat, it is has its own. It's like it is therapy. You know. Um, and you got to set aside your time to do it. Like
Right. I know, I'm sure the
brisket
preparation and everything.
preparation, and especially with brisket. I mean, it takes me like, depending on how big the slab is, like 10 to 12 hours. You know,
Wow.
and it's very tedious work going back to your smoker. I'm using charcoal. I don't have one of those ninja smokers.
Right, right,
So you gotta
right.
keep making sure the temperature is this, and gotta keep putting charcoal and wood in, and make sure it doesn't
Yeah.
go over 250. Um, but at the end, you see the, what you created.
Mm. Mm.
It's very satisfying. You
Right,
know,
right. And it
and
seemed to look on everybody else's face when they eating it.
yeah, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I just love cooking. You
That's
know,
good. That's good.
I really do.
Something to help you, to enjoy. That's a
Hmm.
good that's a good thing.
For me to enjoy, and for others to enjoy, yeah, like you said, to enjoy as well.
Enjoy as well.
Um,
Right.
I cook. I've cooked a lot of things, or I bake a lot of stuff, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't do it for myself. I want to do it, and then I got to find somebody to give it to.
Give it to
You know,
right. Right.
yeah.
Whenever you want to make one of them, you said the Russian, what was it called again?
The Russian honey cake.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Put me in on the number the bid list for it.
Okay.
Whenever. Yeah. Russian honey cake. That sounds good. I like sweets, so Yeah.
I do too. And we're getting ready to get into my favorite time of the year. It's talking about my mental wellness. Autumn is. I talk to a lot of people, and they always say majority of the people I talk to, they say the same thing. They love autumn. They love fall.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, it's not as hot. It's not as cold.
Oh,
The
mm-hmm.
leaves changing.
Right.
Football.
Football.
Uh,
Yeah. Yeah.
I was watching preseason the other day, and it's kind of like, yes,
What's
fall's
coming back?
almost
Yeah, you
here.
get the feeling he's coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's that time of the year. And again, the weather. Well, we don't know what's the weather going on right now. It's so hot, then it cold and it's raining. You don't know what day for day what the weather's going to be. So yeah.
Yeah, I I think I think summer is probably my worst season now. It's
Yeah.
just so hot and humid
Hot.
this year.
Hot.
Um, I can tell you now. I love the rain too. I researched this. People's moods when it comes to weather.
Mm.
I used to live out in Seattle for 3 years, and it rained a lot there, a lot. You know,
Yeah.
and they said the depression is pretty high there, and it is.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like in heaven. You know.
Really? Because of the
Oh yeah,
weather?
because of the weather. You
Yeah.
know. No,
I couldn't
I
do it.
don't want. I'm
My
probably
son
telling
lived
too
out
much about
there.
myself. What's that?
My son lived out there for about 2 years, 3 years. And I went to go visit like twice.
Hmm.
Said, this ain't for me. That ain't for me. Mm. I
I
had a
will
good time.
rearrange.
I had a
I
great
will
time.
rearrange. What's that?
I had a great time. It was just
Yeah.
gloomy all the time. It was just gloomy.
I think, yeah. Well, for me, yeah, I told my therapist this. I'd rather for it to be gloomy or overcast. Definitely raining.
Right.
I have rearranged like my plans based on if it's going to rain or not.
Yeah.
I just love it when it rains. Now, being up in the upper northwest Seattle area, yeah, it got kind of old sometimes. It was like gloomy and overcast and rainy for 100 days straight one time there.
Right.
That was a bit much.
Yeah.
Um, man,
Yeah.
I was love when the sun came out. Everybody was, but for the most part, I love it when it rains.
Right.
To me, it's
Yeah.
again, it gives me that calm serenity, if you will.
And everybody got to, they at peace with different seasons. I know a lot of people
Hmm.
that really enjoy the spring. Some people enjoy the summer. I'm like,
Hmm.
lately this summer's been too hot.
Too
Uh,
hot.
Not too many people, you're a certain type of person who deals with the winter. Like, I was born and raised in Philadelphia, but I don't have one that had nothing to do with the cold.
Mm-hmm.
Cause I just and now I try to just hang out at the beach and do things, but some days it's hot, but I just try to relax as much as I can, as much as I can. So, because it's important. The mental health aspect for all of us is challenging, and we gotta be able to find things that help us relax, as best as we can, you know, especially seeing the things that we've seen and dealt with the things that we dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta find that place of peace as best as you can, because life is going to continue on life, and then you're not going to be able to control it. It's so many things going on in the world. Not just here in the United States, out of the country. You name a place, there's
Mm-hmm.
always something going on, and you got to just define, and say, hey, what am I going to deal with? What do I want to put up with, and how I'm going to enjoy my life, going forward. Because once you retire, it's so many things on your plate that you have to start looking at. But like you said,
Mm-hmm.
like you look at it at least 18 months before, and prepare yourself for all of those things, and that life throws at you. But I want to say, man, thanks again for coming on and really sharing a lot today. I felt like this was more intimate than we were talking before, like because you kind of like opened up a lot and shared and gave some insightful information, that we all going to face and we look forward to. So those are things that I always appreciate people to come on and talk about. Just those little nuggets, that
Right.
somebody's going to need tomorrow, for sure. So again, man, thank you. I appreciate you. And if you got anything, any last minute things, please share it. I ain't rushing you or anything, but I'm just saying, you know,
Well, well, one, yeah. When I came on last time, and I came on tonight, I didn't know what I wanted to say, and I felt
hmm
like, you know, um, I didn't know. But you're such a great interviewer. You kind of pull this stuff out of me. Stuff, I don't open up very much,
yeah,
unfortunately. But I also feel like I want what I'm saying. Hopefully, can reach someone, and help them.
hmm
Because I tell you, self care, is very important. We have to take care of ourselves. We
yeah,
have to take care of ourselves. Because we can't take care of someone else until we take care of ourselves first.
that's a fact.
Um,
That
but
is a fact.
but again, the Virginia Department of Veteran Services, um, we have great people. We have dynamic personnel there. And
Mm,
all we want to do, our whole mission, is to make sure that our Virginia veterans and family members are taken care of.
yeah, yeah. That's respect. And where can they find the Virginia Department of Veteran Services? Where can they website? I'm sure Google.
Yeah, you go to and I'll send you the link to the DBS .virginia .gov,
hmm
and you can request services on that site as well. The Virginia Veterans Network. Um, so please, and I also, if you want, I can leave you my contact information. Um,
I
because I
got
just
it. I
want
can
you.
put it out there. I just if you wanted to say it, I can. People would probably
Yeah,
listen. Yeah, that's no problem.
yeah.
Like I said, the Virginia Department of Veteran Services. Yeah,
Mhm.
Google, you can find it as well. So yeah.
So thank you so much for having me on.
Hey,
I
not
feel
a problem, Jamie, man. No problem. Again,
you
I
helped me
want
today.
hey, you to come back on again in the next couple of months. Because what y'all do, y'all got so much information, and it's always vital just to receive that information because somebody's going to need it. You know,
Hmm.
some way, someday, somehow, someone's going to need that information, and y'all are the organization that's actually helping and assisting and providing that information. So yeah. Thanks again, man. And again, man, much love and respect to you and your family. I hope you continue on with getting help, for everything that you got going on, especially with you and your family and the loss of your dad as well. So
Thank you.
I appreciate it, man. And again, man, if you ever need anything from me, I'm here. You know, I'm always here for you. Appreciate it.
Same here.